Hey guys.
We're here today to check out the latest from Sanctuary. It's been ages. The name of the song is Not of the Living. It's a lyric video. Features my good friend Joseph Michael on vocals, also of Witherfall, in case you guys don't know. Really excited to see this new material. They signed with Black to Black, and that means there's a new record coming out. Like I said, it's been ages.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a minute. So really excited to check this new Sanctuary out. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's rock and roll. saw them back in the day. Well, it feels like back in the day. I mean, it's not back in the day, but I saw them on that tour with Ice Earth.
No, that is back in the day. That is quite back in the
It was
day.
before the pandemic.
It
Way
was before
before.
a lot of other things.
Yeah.
It was before quite a bit of things, actually.
A lot has happened since. A lot has happened since. Anyways, what's your take on this song? What do you think?
Dude, I mean, whenever I hear his voice, I just think of Wonderful.
Hold on, sorry. Let me just say this. For me, my humble opinion, not because he's my friend, but criminally underrated.
Criminally underrated voice, yeah.
One of the best voices in metal.
He also has a lot like in his repertoire. Like there's a lot he can do. You know, he can hit you with the high notes. He can soothe you with some deeper, more soothing vocals. And then he can bring it harsh. He has a really
Incredible
good arsenal.
range. Yeah. For me, he's a real complete singer.
Yeah, and you don't get a lot of those. And I think, especially because he is one of the very few, he is very underrated.
In my opinion, he is. He is. Because the guy has an incredible amount of talent. He's a really good singer. He can do it all. Yeah, I just feel like so many times, you know, his name gets thrown around almost any time a band, especially like either a power metal band or a classic heavy metal band is looking for a singer. Like when Nevermore was looking for a singer, his name got thrown around by people a lot. His name always gets thrown out there when a band is looking for a singer. But it's like that tells you something. That tells you at the very least that the fan base,
the community,
or the metal community in general knows who he is and how talented he is.
Exactly.
And to me, he's just criminally underrated. The guy is absolutely a phenomenal lead singer and a great front man as well. Not just a great
presence.
Lead singer.
He's a very good presence.
And he's a funny dude. He's a great guy. I just wanted to start off by saying that I think he's a phenomenal singer and deserves a lot of credit for what he can do.
A lot more credit for
than what he gets.
Yeah.
100%.
But the song, dude, super classic, feeling like...
so is the band. I mean, it's a throwback band.
The whole band is very throwback, but I think his voice fits it so well. It's weird, it does feel like a Witherfall song a little bit.
I mean, there's...
But that's also because of his voice. And also, his voice doesn't really... It changes a bit from...
Both bands have a lot of similarities.
Yeah, and also the way his voice is mixed in both bands.
And I saw Jake there on guitar in the studio, so I'm wondering if he did some of the solos for this track, or if he's involved in some of the tracks for the album. I just saw him there sitting in the studio jamming on the guitar, so at least it looked like him.
Super, like, just feel good metal. It's very, very old school feel good metal.
Super old school shit, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
Dude, this is very old school. Like, this shit would do numbers in the early 90s.
Oh, they were a big band. They were a massive band. But obviously things have happened and they've gone through a hiatus, and losing a lead singer is never easy. So there's that. Especially when it's an iconic one. Yeah. It's difficult.
Sometimes it's band ending.
And very often it is. I mean, look at the Gates. I don't think At the Gates will ever release another album. At least not as At the Gates. At least not as At the Gates. Because some singers are really hard to replace. Yeah. I think he's doing a phenomenal job with Sanctuary. I honestly do. I think he's doing a phenomenal job.
But this
is the kind of metal that got me. I mean, I wouldn't say that got me into metal, but definitely was.
I think this was some of it.
It's very close to that era because what got me into metal, to be honest, was Sepultura. But outside of that, once I discovered them, I went into bands like Manowar, other bands like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest.
Bands that had similar sound to this.
Yeah, so definitely this reminds me of that era, at least that era from me in terms of getting into metal.
It's cool that throughout the years, like I said, they would do numbers in back in their time. Like, it's crazy to see that nothing has been overly.
Nothing
polished.
has been lost over the.
Nothing's been lost over time. You could still pinpoint it to the OG.
Everybody's aged like a fine wine.
True, and everyone has aged like a fine wine. It's just crazy to when it comes to this band.
They're keeping it real.
They're keeping it real, like. You know,
not that I expect these guys to go metalcore at any point in time.
No. But when you're listening to a song, like a brand new song, you're in your head, you're like, fuck, I feel like I've listened to this when I was a kid. Like, It kind of...
The production, everything about it. It's not just the sound.
A little bit heart-soothing in a way because it brings you back to the good old days. And I think they did really well when it comes to like we said,
Boomer metal at its best.
yeah. And but I think like we said, choosing a lead singer is always really difficult. But they found someone
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
who
That I think
really,
everybody can agree on. Like,
yeah,
if you're gonna continue with the band, he's the best person for the job because of his range. Like his range
you
is
can do it all.
it's outstanding. He fits in like perfectly. I don't know if he's ever done a King Diamond cover, but man, I would
But
love to hear
I would
him.
love to hear it.
I would love to see him do like a King Diamond
Or
cover
Merciful Fate, yeah.
or Merciful something along those lines because his voice is just. I mean, one of the reasons I got into this kind of music back in the day was, like I said, Manowar, King Diamond, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, but more definitely Manowar, Iron Maiden, and King Diamond. This kind of like epic metal style
Epic.
sound. Even though King Diamond, some people argue that there's black metal influences there. I still put King Diamond kind of like
In this classic
in
heavy
this
metal.
classic
Well, at
heavy
the
metal
time it
sound.
wasn't classic heavy metal,
At the
but
time, it wasn't classic. At the time, it was like
it was heavy metal.
was modern.
It was modern,
At
yeah.
the time, was modern. So I really like his voice, and I would love to hear him do a cover. I don't know if he's ever done one. At least I'm not aware of it. But I would love to see him doing a cover of a King Diamond song or a Merciful Fate track because I think he would
I think
absolutely
he would kill
nail
it.
it.
I think he would
I
kill
just
it.
think he would nail it, and it would be so cool to see kind of a sanctuary take on one of those songs because back in the day, Sanctuary did a cover of White Rabbit Jefferson Airplane song, and it's really cool. It's obviously sounds nothing. I mean, the original is very psychedelic and whatever.
Yeah,
Their cover doesn't necessarily go down that route, but it's a really cool cover
yeah.
nevertheless. I would like to see them do a. I mean, I really would like to see them doing a cover of King Diamond or
I would
Merciful
kind of
Fate.
put that cover into like them making it their own. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. If
It's
you
kind of like Snowblind from Black Sabbath. There's the System of a Down cover that they played live
mhm.
when we saw System of a Down. And when you listen to both songs, it's so jarring, but it's because they made it their own.
It's funny that sometimes you discover a cover through the band who's doing the cover, and then
Well,
you don't even know it's a cover. You
it's
just
funny
assume it's their
because
song.
that song I knew it was a Black Sabbath song. We
No, I'm
saw
not talking about that song specifically.
no,
I'm
I
talking
know,
about in
but I'm
general.
saying like that song I knew it was a Black Sabbath song before listening to the cover. Although I actually prefer the System of a Down cover, but a friend of mine just only knew the System of a Down cover, so didn't even know it was a cover. Thought it
Wow.
was like an OG song.
Only I would say maybe like a year ago, I found out that The Hunt, that song is on Sepultura's Chaos AD album. That's a cover.
Oh,
I thought it was just their song from that album because when I bought back in the day when I bought the CD for Chaos AD, it didn't say on the CD that it's a
cover.
cover and
Yeah.
who they're covering. It just on the track listing it just says The Hunt. So I thought it was just their track, and then about a year ago, I discovered that it's actually a cover, and I was like, really?
They pulled a Kanye. They did a Kanye before Kanye.
And now it's hard for me when you discover a song through a cover. It's really hard for you to find appreciation for the original because your mind is tainted with how you
How
discover
good,
that this.
also how good.
Yeah, you discover the song through that version. You know what I mean? So it becomes a little bit difficult
They
to
did
go
a
back.
Kanye, man. They did a Kanye.
Hopefully that's where it started.
Hopefully
and
that's
what
where it
it
starts
ended.
to. I don't mean by covers. I mean like a lot of the songs that he releases, he doesn't give whoever's like featured on the track. They're not there, so you don't know.
Oh, you don't know who's the feature?
No, he doesn't give credit to the features.
I feel like that's a little bit less bad than doing a cover and not mentioning that it's a cover.
I guess so.
Especially when it's deep cuts. I mean, we're not talking about like if they covered, I don't know, Abigail by King Diamond. Everybody knows Abigail is a King Diamond song, so you don't even need to mention it. You know, people know. But if you're doing like a deep cover of like some like deep cuts, like punk band or like some underground shit, then becomes a little bit harder. I know Midnight did a whole album of covers and all the covers are bands from Cleveland or from Ohio, I should say, not from Cleveland, from Ohio, where Midnight is from, and not metal bands, just like random bands from Ohio that are popular, have nothing to do with
scene.
metal and whatever. They're just popular bands in Ohio, and he took songs and he did all covers. So for me, it was really interesting when I was listening to the album. I didn't know any of the originals,
Yeah, so you
so
just
now I
kinda-
only know those. But some of them were so good that I kind of went back to listen to what the original was all about. So it's always a fun process. Now, as far as this song is concerned, I really like this track. I really like the sound. I'm a huge fan of him as a vocalist. So excited to see that they signed to Black. that means an album is coming out. I don't know if they announced an album already. I know they announced that they signed with a label, but
Normally that means
if the label picked them up, that means there's an album coming out. Let's face the
yeah.
fact.
They're not gonna pick them up just to do fuck all.
Yeah, just to release a single. That's not it's not going to happen. So, and I know Black to Black has bands like Forbidden, who's also a throwback thrash metal band from the Bay Area. They have Megadeth on there. They have Biohazard, which is also like an iconic hardcore band from New York. So they're picking up some younger bands, some newer bands, and then some like really well established bands to kind of balance out their roster.
But it's all bands with a similarity within.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, they're looking. I mean, the label has only been around for less than a year, so they're trying to expand their roster and expand the number of bands. So I know they're looking at like black metal bands at different genres in order to have more of a diversified portfolio. Yeah. So I wasn't shocked when they picked up these guys because they're a well-established act like Forbidden is, for example. And if you're trying to create a roster that has a little bit of a balance between the old and the new, having a band like Sanctuary on it definitely checks that box. And they're a phenomenal band. Like honestly, this track is really good, especially if you like that more classic heavy metal sound. If this is your jam, this is going to check the boxes for you. All right, guys, this is it. Go check them out. Go see what they're up to. Like I said, there should be an album around the corner. We'll see you all at the next video.
See ya.